Hi guys, Peter McKenzie, Rincon Property Management. Today we're going to be talking about 3 problems to avoid when vetting a property management company. So when you're looking to hire a management company, you are at a disadvantage because you don't have the benefit of getting inside the company, seeing how they communicate, how they run their accounting, how they deal with maintenance. The only thing you really can do is look at their online reputation and ask questions of the salesperson that you're talking to. So we're going to give you these 3 areas that can really be a red flag and give you a taste of things to come, if you will. So let's get right into them. And the number one thing is apathy. If when you reach out to that management company and you're having a conversation with them, if you get the sense that they're a little bit apathetic, they don't really care, you don't really hear passion in their voice, they're not responding the way you think they should, that's a red flag, because unfortunately it's a really common thing in management companies to get apathetic, and you don't want that as the people that are going to represent you to your tenants, to vendors, to take care of your property. This property you're turning over to them is arguably one of the most expensive assets that you have, and if they're going to manage it in an apathetic way, it's a recipe for disaster. So if you get the feeling in your due diligence and your conversations with them that they just don't care, or they're not showing the attention to detail and the passion behind it, then you're probably better off moving on to the next one. The second thing that is a red flag is how they handle communication. Poor communication is unfortunately a really common thing in the property management world. One of the reasons is they usually manage hundreds, if not thousands, of properties, and sometimes it can be difficult if they're not on top of their game, if they don't have systems, if they're not good at what they do, to keep a high level of communication with their clients. This fortunately is really easy for you to spot. So if you contact the company the first time and they take a day or 2 to get back to you, that's a red flag. That's a sign of poor communication. Your business isn't maybe as important to them as it should be. Or if when you are talking to them, you ask questions and they aren't able to answer the questions, that's a problem too. Or when they do finally get back to you, if they don't fully answer your question, another red flag. So poor communication is the easiest one to spot. And if you experience it in the very beginning of your interactions with this company, I'm here to tell you it's only going to get worse over time, and usually it gets exponentially worse, because you're the person that potentially is paying their fees. You think they would be giving you the most attention, especially up front when they're trying to put their best foot forward and win over your business. If they're not doing that in the beginning, I promise you it's going to get worse in the end. So if that is something you see, again, move on to the next company on your list. The third thing that is important that you look out for is a lack of transparency. So when you're trying to vet a company, you obviously don't have a history with them. You don't know how they operate. You're trying to figure that out up front to decide, is this a company I want to hire? Ask for information. I would ask for a copy of a sample contract so you can review it before you're ever asked to sign it. I would ask them information like, how long does it take you to lease a property? How long does it take you to fix a maintenance work order? What's the average days on market? When am I going to get my funds deposited into my account? Very simple questions that most companies should be able just to rattle off. If you're not getting the answers you need, if they're not willing to share their contracts, if they're dodgy about their pricing and their fees, those are all indicators that there's not some transparency here. And if you're feeling it now, it's only going to get worse down the line. Fees is a big one. Really it should be out on their website where you don't even have to ask what the fees are. It should be painfully obvious. Unfortunately, that's not the case in our industry. If you go to most of our competitors' websites, you cannot find what they charge on the website itself. Hope that makes sense. Again, number 1 is apathy, number 2 is poor communication, and number 3 is a lack of transparency. If you feel like you're experiencing any of these from the company you're evaluating, do yourself a favor, move on to the next one. There are really good companies out there who excel in all 3 of these areas. Hope that helps. Hope that helps you in your journey to find a management company. If you want to reach out to us and have a more in-depth conversation, we're happy to do that. You can subscribe to our YouTube page. You can fill out the contact us form on our website. We'd be happy to have a one-on-one conversation with you. Thank you.